Welcome to the Sex Actually podcast with Tasha and Dave. SAP, baby.
Sound good?
Yeah, that's
all right, let's get it started. This is Sex Actually Podcast, a.k.a. the SAP. As always, I'm Dave Neal, Tasha Courtney, and we have Gabby Bryan and Zack Signore.
Signore, yeah. Hey, everybody.
Thrilling, fancy last name.
I knew I was going to fuck that up one way or another.
It's okay.
That was
It's
the best
really
I could
famous.
do.
You're the only non-first name, last name here.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
I mean, mine is like Signore Zack.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
I woke up.
Do you have to move to West Hollywood with that name, though? That's like a very West Hollywood name.
I do work at Flaming Saddles, so it's
Do you
very
really?
Flaming
Are
Saddles.
you a bartender?
No, I'm not like one of those like guys who gets up and dance. I'm like one of just the low-class boys who carry drinks. Yeah.
Is he shirtless?
I wish, because they'd make a lot of money that way.
See, I can only ask like you this. I can't ask a girl these questions if she works at like Hooters or you know what I mean.
She's like, hashtag. Excuse me, hashtag.
Hashtag wake up.
They'll have to file through just past episodes. I mean, they could build a case on me. Luckily, we're not popular enough.
No,
That's the key. We're just not popular enough.
It's brutal in Flaming Saddles. Like, you have like the 7-year-old gay men who just like, they like grab you at the nape of your neck and then run it down to your ass crack and are like,
What? Are you a puppy?
yeah.
Like,
And then what am I supposed to be like? You got me. Like, that was it. Like, yeah. Ooh, yay. Yeah.
When you get a job there, do they like warn you like, hey, Gary's gonna be a problem?
Well, Gabby got me the job there. So, yeah.
not to brag.
So you guys know each other from like you're from Connecticut and you're from New Jersey. How do you guys know each other?
We went to college together for theater, actually, and then we both went into comedy. So Zach's also a comedian.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
comedian,
Yeah.
sketch comedy.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a
do it
sketch
all.
groundlings
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, Groundling's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
I just did the first level there. As a stand-up comedian, though, I just feel so unwanted by the improv community.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Really?
It's so like, oh, you do that? Oh, yeah. It's like there's not much crossbreeding, right?
Yeah, well, because the improv, I feel like it's all about togetherness, and it's like a lone wolf to be a stand-up comedian. So I
Yeah.
bet they're all like,
Dude, we're assassins. We're just lone, creepy.
Yeah.
We show up to different... I look at it this way. Like, you guys all go to the same high school, and we're all traveling, basketball players. We just got to show up to a new place, like, figure it out. But I get so jealous when I see people because y'all know each other. Or you go to the same bar
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
Now we don't have that.
It's a little much, though.
Yeah, we're like, don't
sometimes.
talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't.
We find like comics find our like four like or stand-up comedians find like 4 or 5 friends and you kind of circle around. We're just as inclusive, but like we don't have the home base. So
Yeah.
we'll be on like a street corner inclusive, and then someone tries to come in and join the conversation, and you slowly just like weed them out.
Yeah. You just make fun of them until they walk away.
But as
You're like,
petty
"Got 'em."
as petty as the comedy world is, Tasha's in modeling, so that's a whole nother.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I don't
Girl.
think it's that, buddy.
Now, but that's a
It's
problem.
like very
with it.
professional. They're like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, and we're the assholes. No, I think it's super. we went to sometimes I go to a casting with Tasha because we did like a job together. Like they want like couples. So like I was the dude, obviously. Like
No.
like they sent
What?
us. They sent us to we went to Mexico for Royal Caribbean, and I was in the background of every
I
shot.
think I auditioned for that.
Did you really?
Yeah, with my friend, not Zach, my friend Alec. We just pretended like we were a couple, and you had to make a whole video, right? To go to.
Yeah, well, we did it in person, but yeah, they would have done that because the casting was out here. So yeah, they probably would have done
we
that.
self-taped for that, and we just lied.
It was fun. We were swimming with whale sharks and doing
Yeah,
all that
that's
shit.
really cool.
That's great.
But like
Oh,
the
shit.
guys, like we were all like just chumps. We were just chumps, and the chicks, like every photos that they've shown us are like the women in the front diving, and we're just like in the background, like,
Being like, I'm the
Hey, I'm
man.
here too.
like, it's so, like the advertising world is so like dudes are gonna agree to whatever the woman wants, so just put them in the background, don't crop them up.
I love that.
Yeah.
I support that.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't get it. That would have been a nice
I know,
little
but-
way of meeting.
And
if
then
we
be like,
met
"Can you guys kiss?" And we'd be like,
Well, everyone fakes it. Everyone fakes couples, but I think they knew we were a couple because like we were already arguing in the waiting room.
"Oh, that's
I
amazing."
literally had spilled a LaCroix, and she goes, "I can't believe you." I'm like, "It's fucking water."
It's
I
fucking
spilled
water.
a drink, and you got mad at me, and they're like, "Tasha
Oh,
and Dave," and
yeah.
we're like,
They're like, ooh, get those two. Get those two.
They're great. They're real.
They had seen some of our other traveling photos, though. I don't know how or where.
"This is
but-
why they cast us. Obviously, you're beautiful. They loved that, but they were asking. They were like, "Are you guys comfortable swimming with whale sharks?" And did I say whale
You
sharks?
said whale sharks.
No, not comfortable with that.
I hear an
I had
episode title.
I had some whale sharks when I was swimming next to them. They're the size of a school bus, and they're like, you guys comfortable swimming with whale sharks? And I was like, Tasha just Googled, do whale sharks eat humans? And the answer is no. So yes, we're comfortable. But anyway, so thank you guys for coming over.
Of course.
no
I'm happy
problem.
to be here.
Gabby, you are so lucky, and I don't know if you fully understand the extent of this, to be a part of the You Know What Dude community.
It's amazing. It really is.
I want to tell you how we got to where we are today. I 5 years ago or 6 years ago was doing comedy for the first time in at Karma Lounge. I don't think it exists anymore in the East Village. And Kelly Festuca was a comedian. She's from Australia. She's super nice. She's super Australian. And and she was. I was like, what do you want me to introduce you as? And she was like, introduce me as a part of the You Know What Dude podcast. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And this
That
is
was
6
right
years
at
ago.
the beginning, yeah.
I was like, I had heard a podcast, but I was still kind of like, you want your credit to be a podcast, and then I listened to it, and I haven't missed an episode, and they're like family to me, even though they don't know me, which is super creepy.
That's awesome.
I know.
So you're my dad.
Yeah, I know a little bit about you because of that. And I have to preface that so it's not creepy. So I'm not like, oh yeah, I know this about you and that about you, but I've got a head start.
Trash on me.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
do.
God.
But there's some of the funniest comedians in the world. Like, Bobby Kelly is part of the Patrice O'Neill lineage. Like these guys. Tasha's doesn't do well with overstimulation.
Oh, you would not.
No, I can't listen. Sorry.
It's
Too many
overwhelming.
voices at once.
She needs
I like,
the
NPR.
news. Yeah.
One like tennis. Bop bop, your turn. And that's like cocksucker.
I like one-on-one.
Yeah, you fucking cocksucker. And they're just calling each other cocksuckers over and over, and it's all layered.
I
And I'm
get
listening to
really
it.
frustrated while listening because I'm like, they keep interrupting each other because I just want someone to be able to finish a point, and I get really
there's never a point.
upset. There's never a point.
There's
I'm
never a
not missing
point.
out on anything. I get just really worked up, in the car driving, just stressed out.
Oh yeah, sometimes I just pretend like I'm taking notes because I'm like, this is too much and I don't want to be involved, and I'm just writing notes. And they're like, Gabby, when's the last time you fucking sucked a dick? And I'm like, notes.
I love that you become like Andrew Dice Clay. When's the last time you sucked a dick?
Last time you sucked a dick.
But you're from Jersey, so I feel like
Yeah,
that
I'm
fits
trash.
in. Yeah, Jersey. Well, we're all different forms of trash, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not Connecticut. You're
Connecticut's like shifty, kind of high class trash.
You're from the trashy area, though. I will say.
am
I
from
will
the
say.
gross.
What part of Connecticut?
I'm from the central, woods. I'm not boat shoes.
Yeah, no.
Yale,
Right.
Connecticut.
Even Yale, if you
I
turn
thought
the wrong corner,
Connecticut
it's
was
trash.
only
Yeah.
boat shoes. I
What?
didn't know
Yeah.
there was non-boat
There's
shoes.
Martha
there's
Stewart.
non-boat
There's
shoes.
Martha Stewart, Connecticut. There's basically Connecticut, suburb of New York, rich people Connecticut. Then there's coastal, New Haven.
Yeah, then there's central, PBR in woods.
Which is like a New
Okay.
Hampshire. Like
Plaid.
New Hampshire's
Yeah,
pure
yeah.
trash.
That's like
Boston.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the Pennsylvania of Connecticut, I would say.
And Tasha's from Kentucky, so I'm not saying that.
Oh,
there's
I'm curious about that.
I had never
You
heard,
said I'm furious about that. Oh, I'm furious about that.
but people always say Pennsyltucky, and I didn't get it. It's like Pennsylvania and Kentucky, I guess, are like the redneck capitals of the
But
world.
you're not from the deep part of Kentucky that's super accents. But this is what's interesting. If you introduce her to another Kentuckian, her accent quadruples immediately. It's like
think it's
turns
just-
into this thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it well, I got rid of my accent in New York when we lived
Of
in New York.
course, yeah.
On purpose. There's a lot of judgment for Southerners.
Yeah,
in
they're
New
like, where the
York.
fuck you from?
Yeah, right. I got sick of answering that question every day. But I really worked on my accent then. But it definitely still comes out when I'm either drunk or very emotional. If I'm angry and talking fast, then
That's hilarious. You're weeping. You're like, I don't even know what to say right now.
I like the attempt at the accent. I like that you went for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not because when you look on a map, Kentucky's actually in the East Coast time zone, and you would not know that, right?
No, I
we
definitely
don't know
would not.
anything about the Midwest, but now I get to go there. Where she lives is right near Cincinnati, which is where Nick Lachey is from.
Uh-oh.
I know you guys are probably younger than us, but Nick Lachey of 98 Degrees was a stud.
Remember the Newlyweds?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best show of all time, I think.
Yeah.
He was on my list of 5 dudes I would go fishing with. I had a list. It was him, Matthew McConaughey, Tom
Oh, I thought you were
Cruise.
going to say
Go
something
fishing
so
like
different.
this.
Is that a sex thing? Is that a sex thing? What is that?
It's also the guys I would.
what is fishing?
But I loved him so much, and then we went to a bar in Cincinnati, it was called Lachey's. He opened a bar, and I was like, show these guys. And I went to the bartender. I was like, is Nick even ever here? And he goes, he's around the corner. So we mustered up the courage, and immediately we're like, let's go. And then Tasha and her sister were like, yeah. And then we'd start walking, and they immediately fangirl into this
chickened out hard.
hardcore chicken out. And then he was wasted. He was dropping his phone,
I love that.
and it was great.
Yes.
I love
He was
that.
smashed.
The bar has since shut down, but he was
Surprise,
a nice guy.
surprise.
That's our big Midwestern connection. Is Nick Lachey, one guy. But we're
Love
out
him.
here in Los Angeles, and you're visiting.
I am. I'm here for just 10 days.
I looked at your story. You looked like you were at a some sort of graduation for a middle school or something.
Yeah, my cousins all graduated at the same time this week. So I just came out to really experience the miserable graduations back to back.
Nice.
So I went to a high school one, and then I went to a 5th grade graduation,
That's what I saw.
which was just thrilling.
Lit. I bet.
We didn't have fifth
was-
grade.
it was pretty lit.
Did you guys have 5th grade graduation? I didn't have graduation
I don't
until
think so.
senior high school. That was
Yeah,
the first.
same. We
so
never
now they
had any.
graduate 5th grade and
It's
probably
LA.
8th
I
grade.
think they're like,
Woke.
whoa. I think they're kind of actually, this one little kid got up and had said a speech, and it was a 5th grader, and she was like, I can't wait to learn all the things I'm going to learn in middle school, like the cycles of the moon and the Revolutionary War. And I just laughed out loud at the Revolutionary War, and everyone was just like, that is such a random, why that war? Why?
Maybe that's when you learn it, though. Every grade.
Will you
has-
come back in 4 years and let us know what you've learned about the Revolutionary War?
I'm like, what do I know about the Revolutionary War?
I want this girl to do another speech and tell us what she's learned. I think I need to know this.
She's like, it was a bloodbath.
and fuck the North. Whoa, what happened?
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So here's what I know about you. And I don't want to dive too far deep into it, but I know you come from a music family.
I do.
Which
yes.
is insane that at the You Know What Dude podcast, you didn't lead with that. Like, they didn't know that you came from.
Yeah, they didn't know till 6 months in.
Why is that? Because I brought it up like an asshole because I'm sure you don't want to be like
No, I really don't care.
Okay.
It's now that it's out, it's fine.
Elton John's daughter. Everybody.
Elton John's my dad. Zach's my other dad. Surprise!
They met at Flaming Saddles. And
Yeah, it was love at first cowboy boot. I don't know what goes on there. No, so my dad's in Bon Jovi, and usually I hide it because I don't want to come off as like the little rock star daughter thing, because that's not me. We're trash as a family, I would say. Like,
Sure.
so
I can vouch. Yeah.
so I like to lead with trash and then let them find out that little fact later on. So I didn't tell Bobby till 6 months in. I didn't even tell him. He was just watching my stories, and he saw my dad, and he's a super fan. And he was
Yeah.
like, "That's David Bryan," and I was like, "No, it's not." He's like, "You have the same last name."
I'm sure he got mad at you. What the fuck? You're not letting me like that's a big.
It's like, how the fuck do you not tell me that? It was
Cut
hilarious.
to like a few weeks ago, I see Bobby with his son, in Madison Square Gardens on the floor taking
Yeah.
videos at their concert. That's insane.
yeah, I
So
took them. Yeah,
Was that normal? Is that normal for you to go to be backstage at these concerts and whatever?
it is. We kind of grew up on tour. I have a twin brother and a little brother as well, but me and my twin specifically grew up on tour. So we were always like running around backstage or whatever. It sounds very glamorous, but it's not. There's like a bowl of peanuts
dangerous.
back there.
That was what
It was, yeah, for sure.
There's just like bassists running around trying to switch their instruments, and you're just like hanging out playing video games.
Yeah, just sitting on all the fucking tools and shit. No,
What was your mom's involvement? Like, did she just like homeschool you, or what? Like, was she on the road with you?
we went on the road and up until like full time up until we went to school, and then we would just go when we were, it was summertime. or
Bon
whatever.
Jovi's been touring for how long?
Forever since they were 22.
So
and they're
your
50.
Your dad's you said the keyboardist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the keyboardist, and that's Jersey royalty. I mean, that's the U.S. royalty. Are they did they originate near where you're from? Or
Yeah.
how did they even come together?
So they met. My dad and John's cousin went to high school together, and in Asbury Park, I don't know if you're familiar, is like the big music scene in New Jersey, and that's where like Bruce started, and really everyone. So they all were in cover bands in that community. Everyone knew each other, and they just ended up, my dad and John were in a band previously, and then they just formed Bon Jovi eventually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So at what point? This is a creepy question. At what point did you become this like? Were you at what point were you like? Were they like, oh, David, your daughter's all grown up now? Like, did you become like the cute chick running around this, backstage, that they're all because guys were dogs.
That sounds very creepy.
It does sound creepy, but the guys, we're like I play on a baseball team, and it's always like, oh, who'd you bring on? Like whenever a guy's got his new girlfriend, like everyone knows who's the new person in the stands. You know what I mean? Like they're done looking at Tasha. She's been coming for 4 years now to the baseball games. But when
they're done with it.
Old news.
But like when our shortstop, he's been a single for a while, so he's always bringing a new girl over, and everyone's like, "What's the
Who's
deal?"
the chick?
But for you, it's like you're this prized daughter of a band member, but it's a band full of dudes that are probably like what's the culture like?
So there's 2 other daughters. John has a daughter, and Richie has a daughter as well. And then there's a bunch of sons running around, but who the fuck cares about them? But I'm actually the only kid in entertainment. Everyone else kind of went into business, or John's daughter is like a DP.
Did you know you wanted to be in entertainment? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how did you get? Because you've only done stand up for a little bit now, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's good. That's a good while. So how did you know that you wanted to? Were you already with the You Know What Dude podcast when you started stand up, or did that lead you into stand up?
I was doing stand up for a year, and then I went into the You Know What Dude podcast because Lenny Marcus, I don't know, shout out. I don't know if you know Lenny. He's a seller comic. He was kind of mentoring me. I just know him. He's a Jersey guy. And he introduced me to Bobby because Bobby's producer dropped out last minute. So I just literally jumped into it randomly. And then we just got along because he's trash, I'm trash.
Yeah.
Trash recognized trash.
What's wrong with your ears?
The dog is.
Oh, the dog's asking you to go out?
Oh, really?
You
No,
you
sneak
guys
up behind
keep
me.
on.
We'll keep talking. So we had our sorry, this is... Our dog normally sleeps 20 hours a day, but he's had
Sleeping
bad.
good.
He has had diarrhea for 72 hours, and so he's going out like every hour to poop.
We took him to the vet.
Oh my God.
We took him to the vet yesterday. I'm happy to report there is no blood in his stool anymore.
So good to know.
But
so
look at this
nice.
poor dog.
He is so cute. He's so very long.
For the viewers, he's really cute.
So Boone the Basset on Instagram. So what
Follow.
happened was we took him to the Basset Hound Spring Games, and he got to
What
chill.
is that?
It is. There's something that's so funny about when you bring the same breed together and only have that breed.
Yeah.
Like you could have like 50 Huskies, and it's amazing. But Basset Hounds are the funniest looking dog. So, and he's, I think, the best looking Basset Hound ever.
Not to
and
brag.
he's also a long-haired Basset, which I've never seen before in my life. And
Yeah.
not one person at the Basset Hound Festival had ever seen one before. So he's kind of like the Bigfoot of like, he's a fucking rare thing. And he had his balls cut off. We couldn't.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I mean, the industry.
I
will
just
do
start to
that.
cry.
So we don't know if he got sick from mingling with all these Basset Hounds or whatever, but it was so bad, and like he's been so like I had to walk him 4 times last night, and and if you don't, so yesterday or 2 days ago, he had this like musket style shart, a whale shart,
like a outward, like a.
Josh will show you the photo after, but
musket
it's
stuff.
like if you shot a musk in it, and it like a cartoon shit. And it went into Tasha's shoes. And it was bad. And I've never once seen him have an accident like this. But like so we're like feeding him like slowly, and it's
Anyway,
How old is he?
He's 9. He
Oh.
shouldn't. I mean, if he was, so he had to get IV treatments because we're worried. And then Tasha's like, "You fed him that corn last week." She knows everything I've ever done. She's like, "You fed him that corn." So she got the X-ray. She's like, "If I find out there's corn in there and we got to cut corn out of him, you're paying for it." Blah blah blah. And then there was no corn, and she's like, "But I still had to check." And
There's metaphorical
oh my
corn.
gosh, they rang us up on a bill, and I was like, "Fuck, we could have sent this dog around the world just to
damn.
check his."
Oh my God.
If we all get free healthcare, does that count for dogs?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It should,
That's
right?
a problem I need to raise.
Excuse me.
If a dog's been in your family, like there should be a checkpoint where like they're family and they should, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're better than humans, right?
They're under your,
Yeah.
because you're the dad, they're under your health insurance.
But the reality is my health insurance is so shitty. I was like talking to the vet trying to get help with myself.
They're like, so while we're at it, can you,
write
check
me something?
I was like,
my
the dog's got this thing that hurts. Can we get something?
right in his spinal cord? I mean, I
Yeah,
gotta
here, touch
check
me
by a
if you want.
chiropractor.
And
Yeah,
just cough and look at my nuts for a second too. I'm getting old.
just for
Yeah.
a second.
So unfortunately, we didn't know if he could, make it an hour, and apparently he can't. So this is the time where we'll talk shit about Tasha. So if you have any
Okay, let's
questions-
Tasha has amazing eyebrows. I noticed it from the moment I walked in here, and I want to make that clear.
That's how I fell in love with her.
Really?
Yeah.
You were like, look at his
Interestingly
I
enough.
brows.
walked by her on a bus. 30th and 3rd in New York. And it was a bus that shuttles you to a set. We were both doing background on a show. Cool. And I was like, that's the girl I'm going to hit on today. And I just walked by her. And
classic extra move where you're like, where? Okay. All right.
And
there
she
he
tells
is.
this horrible story about how loud I was on the bus and this and that. And my only response is like, well, like, you remember. You know what I mean?
That was the point.
That was the thing. I could have been the quiet guy in the back behaving, but what
I
would
was
that have gotten me?
peacocking.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was talking to it was 5 a.m. too. I felt bad for the whole bus, but I was talking to my buddy and she had a coffee and me and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she wanted nothing to do with me. But, I still was like,
You found a way.
Yeah.
You've built a great life together.
It was a long game. That was like 8 years ago. It was a long game. We've been dating for the last 4, so we kind of just like lived different coasts. Kind of always said like, "Hey, what's up?" And then
DM'd.
And then when you live close together, it's a whole like the first day I moved to LA, she was like, "Hey, come on over to Public House. We're watching the game." And of course, there's like 5 dudes there. It's like something about Mary. There's just a bunch of dudes trying to get with her, all posing as friends, and then they've all disappeared.
Yeah.
Since we've been dating.
Oh
They've
my
all,
God. Yeah,
which
they're
is
not.
normal. They've all just decided, that why would they want to be her? Why would a guy want to be a girl's friend?
Well, were they crazy LA
Yeah.
hunks?
They were no, but like they all had something I didn't. One was a doctor. One was this.
Fuck.
Here's what pissed me off. I'm watching the show Barry last night.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have said the name of the show. And and I love this show.
Take that back.
And Tasha's like, I knew that she knew the guy who created the show, and she was like, oh, I'm glad you like the show. Like something about. She was like, yeah, I used to date the guy. I was like, no, you didn't tell me you dated the guy. And now it's changed. Now I'm like,
You're like, fuck that show.
I just admitted to loving a show and praising it, and now I know it's your ex. And meanwhile, I've just written a show, and I'm trying to like sell it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, motherfucker! Like, I've just been like cucked by an ex. Do you know what I mean? Like
You've been cucked.
I've been cucked by a dude that I don't
Or
even.
she's a good luck charm,
Oh yeah.
and you're gonna get that fucking show.
Well,
And it's all those eyebrows.
I'm starting to look at all of her exes and be like, what was wrong with her?
Uh-oh.
She said, I was like, well,
This is getting very... Is she-
No, this is my therapy. I invite you on for my therapy. I was, because I always, I talk about different exes, and she's always like, yeah, I don't know, he was just aloof. And I'm thinking, were all these guys aloof, or were you like, did you drive them away with some psycho shit? And I'm just like this sucker who like puts up with it, because I do have.
Oh my God.
I put up with some crazy, but like she loves me for that. Like
Yeah.
I've had to learn this. And she knows it. I've had to learn not to respond to anything she says, like a priest at an exorcism.
You're just like,
Like she'll just say some crazy shit.
bless
and like,
my child.
it's normal for a guy to want to be like, no, and fuck you.
Yeah.
But I can't have that back and forth because it shuts down. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and then it turns into whatever I just said.
Yeah.
Like the trial is only responding to what I just said. And everything
Yes.
else is out the window. If I've raised my volume to that level, there's no. So like, but I've had to learn that like that's the compromise.
Yeah.
When they say like love is compromise, love is not responding the way you want to.
Love is just
wow.
going,
Doing the dishes and then taking the
Okay.
dog for a walk and then coming back around and being like, anyway.
and just putting your hand up against a brick wall outside and being like,
Yeah,
Well, you can do that right in your apartment, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. In our apartment's so small that like you can't sneak a fart out in the other room without the other one knowing. So it's forced us to really expose each other's issues
yeah.
versus avoiding them. Like in New York, I was just like single. I was just dating girls, and they were never like worried about committing to me either. I think they just knew that wasn't going to happen. Like I didn't have that. I didn't look like the type of guy that they wanted to be with long term anyway.
I think in New York, people really don't focus on relationships because everyone's just flying past each other that no one's like even thinking about locking anything down.
Yeah, the career people move to New York, so they're not thinking about settling down. And when they do, it's weird. Everyone else in New York is like, what are they doing? Why
Yeah.
are they staying?
And I think, and then the business world, like I think men in New York have it the best because they're out there making a ton of money. I say men because the majority of the financial industry is men, so I don't mean to make. I always make everything a gender thing, but women are always like, oh, it's so hard to date, and it's like these dudes. I know them. Like I went to business school, so I know these guys.
Oh, we know them too at Pace
Yeah.
with all those financial dudes.
But like, have you guys heard of like intern season? They have a season. They know when like there's a new crop of people that they can fuck.
Yeah.
And then they leave, and then that's it. Why would they want to settle down? It's not. There isn't that correct bonding thing that makes a guy and a woman stick together in New
Yeah.
York. There's no like. The night doesn't end. There's nothing to keep you that like here at least there's a little like it slows down a little bit. You can kind of like have a homestead a little bit. LA's still kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But in New York, didn't even consider. Have you had any long-term relations in New York?
I had one long-term relationship where he lived in LA, actually. He lived in K-Town. That's where I know where K-Town is. And once he moved to New York, it was just,
It
didn't
ended.
work. Yeah.
Did you try to make it work? Did he move to New York for you?
Yeah. Yeah, which is a tricky thing.
Because that becomes a financial. That adds a lot of factors.
It adds a layer, and there was no chance I was moving to LA because I'm an East Coast bitch.
So how'd you guys meet?
We met in high school. He was just like a friend of a friend.
Okay.
He was going to NYU, and I was, living in New Jersey. And then he moved out here, and we just kept in touch. And I came out for one summer just to see if I was into LA. And we met and just, fell in love, whatever. Started dating for a long time. I would fly out here constantly, like every weekend. But
really?
It became like a vacation relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're not mixing in real life, you don't hit those real life problems.
Exactly.
Because you're just when I moved to LA, I was still dating a girl in New York. Like what we thought we were still like, but like then it got bad. It got bad within 2 months. 2 or 3 months, like she came to visit, and I was like, I have nothing to show you. Like I have nothing. Like I don't have any. Like men need like success. We need to show a woman like what we're working on. I had none of that. So like, how can you have a good relationship when you don't have like that stability of like, this is what I'm doing? Like I had no stability. So why would a girl be like? It just cripples.
I know.
Falls apart.
In New York, you're just grasping at straws to make a supportive house, and it just looks like shit. And you're just trying to make it by, unless you're like a Wall Street dude and you live in like the East Village.
Yeah.
But like at my Brooklyn place, just looked like trash. Everyone I brought home, I was like, sorry. Yeah. It looks
Just before we go in, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's always like, we had 4 dudes living in a 2-bedroom, and then
Lovely.
a 3rd bedroom. We called the fuck dungeon. It was really a big closet.
You had the sex dungeon.
Yeah.
You had a sex dungeon?
Yeah, I had this old, awesome, like railroad style house, and it had this little like office closet sort of thing. And we just put like one of those bunk beds with a desk underneath it. It's all that could fit in there, and that's just where we plowed the horse.
So did you have to like walk in and climb onto the bed? Like
immediately. Like you couldn't even open the door because all that could fit in there was that bed.
That was yeah. I didn't have.
It was hot, stuffy little room. It was awesome.
That's what I had. Yeah, just pure fuck dungeon.
Yeah. Pure
I
fucking
think we had
funk dungeon.
I think we had a double bed, so like there was room for a double bed. That's it. I might have had my like closet on top of the bed, like higher up, like there. It was, and it was real. It sounds creepy, but really soundproof. Yeah. You're gonna get a lot of work done in the fuck dungeon.
Yeah. Wait, what
I
was
put the desk underneath it, being like, I'm gonna do work down there. But every time I'm in the room alone, I'm like,
We like drew Satan's stars all over the walls. It was fucking gross. in
Big
there.
cocks on the wall.
Yeah.
It was
But
crazy.
I don't. But men can we can stack up and live like that. I think when women do it, it's
like
more
little
charming.
forts.
I would perish.
Yeah, you should see her apartment. It looks like Etsy. Like you just like open.
It
the
looks
app.
like this.
Yeah.
What part of town are you in?
I'm in Park Slope in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's what the number one place people want to start a family.
Yeah, for moms.
Yeah, so I'm there.
I lived on the other side of the park in Prospect Heights.
I love it
Yeah.
over there
Q.
too.
Well, I lived there.
well.
Yeah, I lived there 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh,
it was
so it was
that's different.
bad. I mean, bad. Like, in this, it always sounds racist, but just wig shops. Just wig
Well,
shops.
Is it the Jewish neighborhood?
No,
No,
it
it's
wasn't.
Dominican.
This
no?
was where I lived was just black neighborhood.
Oh,
And
Okay.
and then I met a girl randomly and went back to her, and this was years later. Went back to her place when I was single, and she lived in the building next door, and it had all just been flipped. And in a couple of years, it just completely changed. So it was the weirdest thing, getting off the same train where you like, don't look that way. There's a guy jacking off. Don't look that way. There's like, a guy shitty, like all that stuff, which in LA is just normal now.
Yeah.
And then I went back there and it was like, oh my gosh, that's a cafe now.
yeah.
Where-
Or there's these
Yeah.
apartment complexes. It's like shitty brownstone, and then it's like this huge plastic like apartment complex they just built with like those cork walls.
Yeah.
And they lights. I'm just like, that looks like your parents make a lot of money,
Yeah.
and that's why you live here. I'm like,
Do you prefer LA to New York?
I'm definitely a New York dude.
Yeah.
I'm here as like a little fun sabaticals. As I like
How
to-
long have you been here?
Great use of sabbatical.
I know, I've been waiting since September.
Now you live in West Hollywood now. I'm not trying to out you, but you're gay, right?
Don't say it out loud. No, yeah, I'm like gayer than gay.
No.
Yeah,
The gays are there in such good shape. Like you have a nice tan and you're
It's so
glowing.
Dude,
rude.
There you
I
go.
think.
yeah.
I go to Crunch Gym, which is like all gay guys. guys,
Yeah.
and like they keep you working strong, and I like a better posture.
Yeah.
Like there's just something about the community that's like cares more about their health. Maybe because they're like all peacocking. Like it's all men.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know how like what men or what women complain about men, like men are pigs. Like I'm a pig. I know it. We are. But like, take women out of the equation, and
it's
like,
just pig on pig. It's a fucking barnyard.
Gay people, like, no one's telling them to stop. So like, they just like touch you, and it's like it's funny.
Oh, no, yeah. My college roommate was gay, and we were at a friend's wedding, and he was like the waiter's gay. And we were in Belgrade.
Yeah, we could smell it
I love
from
when
a
you
year
can
away.
sense it.
We were in Belgrade, Maine, and this is 5 years ago when, like, I'm sure even now in Belgrade, Maine is this tiny town of 1,000 people where, like, you're not gay. You're just not. You know what I mean? It's just one of those
cannot
small
be.
New England towns where, like, you're not open. You're just not. It's sad, but he was like, that waiter's gay. And then I was like, what? And then I didn't even see them talk or whatever. Later that night, he shows me a dick pic from the waiter. I was like, how'd you guys even get each other's numbers? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it's that psychic gay thing.
Can I tell the story of us in Canada?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Please,
so we went up to Montreal a couple weeks ago. We just drove up there, a couple friends. And Zach's the same way, where he's like gay.
Yeah.
So there was this like a gay boy, little gay boy.
Which with the older gay boy?
No,
or
the younger
little gay
one.
Boy? Yeah, I shot high and low, nowhere in the middle.
When you say
yeah.
boy,
Oh, I mean like dude, not like please
Oh
everybody,
yeah,
not like
he's
boy.
not a child. He wasn't a child.
but a gay boy that's a man, is it just like more like a twink gay?
He
Or-
was
We
a
have
little
twinks,
twinky.
twanks, twonks, otters, wolves. We got a lot of categorized.
And I just don't
It's
want to
a zoo.
offend anyone by saying the wrong zoology
It's
term.
fucking
so
gay
you're
zoology.
an otter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Or a wolf, I'd say. But,
Oh.
maybe in a few years.
That's very different. Otter and a wolf is.
Yeah, when my grays come in.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come in all at once. I'll just morph into a wolf.
Yeah. Wolf
Uh-oh.
is like a distinguished older guy. An otter, think bear, but like smaller and more agile.
But a
Yeah.
bear's hairy.
Yeah.
Bears are like the big.
Hairy guys.
But what are my other options besides otter? Tasha, I'm gay now.
yeah. Well,
I've been flipped.
we have
A
twink.
lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
A lot
since
has happened.
you've walked the dog.
Sorry.
I'm an otter.
I mean, so twink is like small, hairless.
Yeah, I
like,
want that.
La, la, la.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Twank is twink skank. So those are like the club kids, the ones who are always getting fucked. And then we have twink hunk. Those are like all those LA boys are twunks.
Are these new terms?
These have been around for ages.
Decades.
man.
These are on cave walls somewhere.
It should be like a Family Feud. Like, name the two types of twinks. Twinks, twanks, twonk.
twink.
Twunk? I don't know twunk.
What is a twunk?
What is a twunk?
I'll take otter, though. Otters are they're good in the wild. They build dams, right? Or is that a beaver? Beaver's not a gay term,
Beaver
right?
can't be because that means
that's a-
vagina.
yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
a vagina.
Yeah. Well, with lesbians, we have. I don't want to speak for lesbians. We got lipstick, chapstick, and
Chapstick?
yeah, and butch. Chapstick is like a lipstick, but just like you'd be a chapstick,
chapstick?
lesbian.
I understand the women with gay man friendship. I get it because I have a few lesbian friends, and there is a comfort to knowing, like, I'm not trying to fuck you. Type of thing.
Yeah.
Because you can say that to your straight friends, but there's still like that, like, oh, what's going on?
but
then,
if
Like
I
if
got
we
a
were
couple-
locked in an elevator, we would
Yeah.
have sex.
yeah, like it's still biologically compatible, but you don't have to. Like, I don't have to explain to Tasha, if I'm with Heather. Can you hear me, Tasha? No, she's gone. Okay.
She can. She just doesn't really care.
The people listening are like, what the fuck's happening over there? Boone's got diarrhea, folks. We're working, we're trying our best. Tasha's got diarrhea too. Are you okay? You got diarrhea too? You're all fine? How did he do? Was it productive? Yeah. Yeah, we're trying our best. You're going to sneak in behind me? Maybe he's behind Gabby.
Yeah, I could jump out.
Yeah,
or whatever. You got it? So we were talking in the surprise of the century, Zach's gay. And,
Surprise.
What do you mean by that?
no, you're not
I
like...
didn't pass.
No, you're not like a notice from across the street gay. You're just like, I had the cheat code that you lived in West Hollywood and.
Oh yeah.
kind of
And
made-
if I open my mouth, it's like la la.
Yeah. No. So what are you? If I'm an otter, what are you?
I like to say I'm a wolf pup, but that's being a little gregarious.
You go species and age of species. You're like a fucking Pokemon.
Maybe a coyote. Maybe like a.
Yeah, like a little pup, little wolf pup.
Okay.
I'm
about like a
morphing. I don't
hyena?
know. I'm not a twunk because like I'm not a hunk. You know what I mean? Like those big like LA hunks.
When you first came out of the closet, was it like sharks on You know what I mean? Was it
it was actually like I have a really weird experience. It was actually super awesome the entire time. Like I've had a really weird gay experience. I came out to like my 2 older brothers on Christmas Eve when I was like sauced on eggnog, and they were like, cool, we love you, it's fine.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I came out to my mom, and she was like, cool, awesome. Well, I'm going to the store. Like she totally like breezed right by it.
Do you think because they already knew?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been dancing around my front lawn for like.
There's a picture of Zach as a baby, just like clearly upset but dramatic with a Barbie in his hand, like. It's like that's a fucking queen right there.
My mom would buy me Barbies as a kid, and my dad and my grandfather used to tell my mom like, "You're gonna make him gay," and she was like, "No, I'm not."
Too late.
But she did. It did.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
That's the
3
thing.
boys.
Okay, now were your parents over 40 when they had
No,
you?
they were really young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've read a thing that every like successive boy is like a 33% chance of being gay.
Yeah.
makes sense.
What?
If the
Yeah.
youngest kid is like statistically way more likely to be gay.
It's,
And it's
Wow.
I
probably
watched this whole TED
That
talk
my
about
younger
it.
brother's gay.
Yeah, so it's like when a woman is pregnant with a man with a male fetus, the body like sees it as a foreign entity and it tries to feminize the body or feminize the fetus, and it gets better at it with every boy it has.
Whoa.
So
Wow, we're
after
really
3
taking
boys,
over.
Like my mom's uterus was like
Put some sparkle on that fetus.
I mean, we need more gay people. This is just a population control issue, I think. But we need to stop having children. And this isn't a pitch to you directly, Tasha.
even though you're looking
Hey,
directly into
in
her
my
eyes.
we need to.
We can't handle the dog shitting once every hour and a half. So how can we handle
Oh
a kid?
man, it's been a nightmare.
So,
it
like-
really has.
Imagine a whole child too.
Oy, oy.
But my sister just had her 4th, and God bless her. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I love them to death.
4 is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just like they're literally just building extensions on the home. I mean, like, what are we doing? like the world is so overpopulated.
Yeah.
Not to the point where you could cut 80% of the people away and live just as. Yeah, imagine the 101. Imagine getting here in 7 minutes because you're just blowing down the road because it's not.
Because there was just a huge disaster. You're like, this is such a.
But it's in our genetics to procreate. It's in our I love Todd. I mean, you always as a guy you always want to plant your seed. That's why it's what guys want to do.
And even for gay guys, I'm a sperm donor. I just have this weird. My brother had a kid, and now I'm like, fuck. I can't let my genes just end.
It's a narcissistic thing that I agree with. It's like, who wouldn't?
So now I have like 100 out there. I think.
You went way too far. You're like, I need to plant my seed, and now there's
Well,
1,000 Zach.
Now in like the age of like family tree DNA and ancestry.com, like really your kids could come looking for you. Like a lot of them.
Well, I told them
in like 20
the
years.
sperm bank that I'm a non-anonymous one, so they can find me.
Oh yeah.
Not to get all
hilarious.
weird with it, but I would want to ship my sperm to a part of the world I don't want to visit because imagine the gay community. You're going to turn into a wolf.
Oh well, I
and
didn't
you're
tell
gonna be
them I
going
was
for
gay.
a twink.
I just had a feeling that they wouldn't accept me. Maybe they would, but they probably wouldn't have. So
Yeah.
I was like,
I think
I'm a
that
straight
they-
guy.
Because you can't give blood, right?
Wow, you lied
I
about
lied.
it.
And they were like, how many sexual partners do you have? And I'm like, what would like a baller straight guy say?
Like fucking 300.
Every day.
You're like a gay guy, you need to all right, divide by 8. I think that's the thing.
I
So
do
just
think
divide by
that
8.
like, and I don't know if it's necessarily that you get paid more or what, but they do
Eggs.
from. Well, yes, definitely for eggs, but just from like movies that I've watched, they like have a binder, and like people who are looking for like
gotta
a
be a
donation,
certain height.
they like open the binder and they like and
See your
and, like,
headshot.
being like over 6 feet and blue eyes
Yeah.
and whatever, or like being a doctor. All of this is like more desirable.
Mine's like being an
Being a
actor.
doctor.
Like,
They want to know your swipe success rate.
Yeah, what's
He's
your
an
ratio?
88% swipe right. This guy's got good
well, you
commanding
can only
sperm.
give them like a baby photo, so I just gave them me where I'm freaking out as a baby. So hopefully someone's taking that.
with a Barbie doll. They're like, I don't understand this. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's interesting. We're still living in like an archaic time where, like, the gay guys can't give blood, and there's like a weird. I mean, we live in L.A. and New York and all these places where it's cool, but you forget that there's parts of the country that you would like stop traffic if you looked a certain way, and that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have to move. When my buddy came out of the closet, he was like, I'm moving to Boston. And I was like, cool, but I didn't really get it. Oh, you have to move to Boston. You can't stay in Rhode Island
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
2007 and be gay. I mean, you could, like, it's not worth teaching other people that you're a great human being. You know what I mean? Like, there's that weird.
You have to go to a
towny
city.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is anyone out in the in Bon Jovi? They're just
No.
a bunch of
Oh yeah.
straight
Actually,
hunks.
in one of the straight hunks, they're old. They're not really hunks anymore. But the new percussionist, they have like a new, round of people.
Sure.
Is a queen. And he's also black. He's the only black and gay man in Bon Jovi, so they really covered all the
Diversifying.
woke things
Yeah.
in one
Seriously,
person.
That's
Yeah.
a hire and a half right there. So,
Yeah.
like, you're in. You're done.
We
Get in
need
there.
you culturally. Yeah.
Black, gay. Is he blind? What else? Does he cover any
No,
other-
but he is fabulous.
Yeah, he is amazing. He
Oh
got
my
me a
gosh.
Red Bull once when I was backstage, and I fell in love. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was flirting with Zach at a bar. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but who cares? He was flirting with Zach at a bar, and Zach was like, oh, I don't know if I'm into it. And then we went to the show the next day, and Zach was looking at the stage, and he looks at me, and he was like, he's in the band?
I had no idea.
I would have fucked him.
But that's the thing. I'm telling people this. There's some status is so important. It's just so important because it's that blue check mark. It's that validation. So if you don't have, on social media, you see the status based on followings, this and that. It's bullshit, but it's real. And then in person, you're like, oh, he's in the band. Oh, he's one of the comics. I mean, you see the comedians that get laid
Yeah.
that wouldn't get laid in any other forum. It's just insane.
It is crazy. Like the guys that, I'm specifically saying guys because guy comics are fucking gross. But I love them. But they're all like these, weird kind of, not you, I like, you're a good looking guy.
Well,
but
I'm a creep.
We'll see where it
we're all
goes.
creeps. To an
But they're
extent.
like these kind of dorky guys who just fell into comedy and became good at it. And now they're not really good looking, but they're like wearing a plaid shirt and everyone's like, okay, you're funny. And they're getting laid like out of control.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good for you. You're a phoenix.
But like it doesn't. I feel like there's like they missed the step where they develop their social skills.
Oh, there's
you know
no
what I mean?
social skills,
Like
yeah.
But they developed it on stage to an extent. Like that's something when shit goes down and the grid's gone, carpenters and people that can tell stories are gonna, you know what I mean, are gonna be important. Like when it's a tribal thing, like there's something about being able to make a room laugh or command a room.
We're gonna be the shamans of the community. We're gonna be like, I have a prophecy.
This is how I tell Tasha so she doesn't leave me. You have to understand, shit's going down.
You're gonna
I'll be the
fucking
man.
need me.
But it's true.
Meanwhile, like, can you do anything else? Like,
Nope.
can you get us food?
We're like, does
Can
anyone
you
have a
hunt us
mic?
food? No.
I need a mic.
I'll trade you a 5-minute tight set for that bag of apples. Yeah. But it's true. Like we have friends that are very successful, right? But like, I'm not in that financial sense. I talk about it all the time. I'm not insecure about it, but it's like I can go into that room with guys that are like, Santa Barbara's top realtor, and like the guy and my buddy who's like, they were fucking taking private jets. I can go in a room and just shit on them and make fun of them, and they're
Yeah.
like, Dave, and it's
You're
like,
cool. Come with us.
yeah, there's something to it. There is.
Yeah.
And then, but they say, pay me now or pay me later. But with comedians, you're just working towards that paycheck. You're building that package. And I think women respect, or men respect somebody who's building something for themselves.
Yes.
No.
And we
Totally.
talk about the way of the superior man, which I don't know if you've read this book. It's an awesome book. Oh, well, you guys have to
Man.
you have to
It's
check it
probably
out.
on the shelf.
My yoga teacher, my female yoga teacher in New York gave it to me, The Way of the Superior Man, but it's about like kind of feeding your inner creative person first and taking care of yourself first. And as a guy who's codependent, sometimes I'll put that aside to make sure Tasha's happy. And of course I want her to be happy, but I have to like not be so like guys that like take a job that they didn't want to like to make their girlfriend happy or whatever.
Yeah,
They're
no
gonna
one
be a
wants
miserable sack of shit. They're gonna resent them. It's gonna surface eventually. It's gonna be this internal wound.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to like play in a cover band your whole life. Like but maybe whatever it is, if you can find a way that like kind of takes care of that inner child, then you'll just be better off,
I think everyone wants someone who's fulfilled. And whatever that means, like no one wants someone in a suit who's just faking it to
For
make
money.
We want someone who's happy within themselves. And I think the cool thing about comics and why like I like dating comics specifically because you're being your raw ugly self for everyone. And that's kind of refreshing, you know what I mean? Like we started in acting and we still do it, but there's kind of this facade you put up. Everyone's painting their face and
Yeah.
Everyone's showing the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like
It's
picture
the
perfect.
opposite,
Yeah, and
Actors
comics are
are-
just like I shit my pants a couple times. And you kind of like appreciate that like gross truth about
Joe
someone.
List has this story about
Joe's
how he
the
was
best.
taking a shit right before and they called him on stage. Because as a comic, I don't know about you guys, I always have to shit 3 minutes before my
Right
set.
before.
And it's a
Adrenaline
fight
is
or
like-
flight. Yeah, it's a evacuate your bowels, we're going into war feeling.
Yeah.
It's this weird
A cold
tribal
sweat
thing.
and you have to shit.
Yeah. So he's in there, they're calling his name and he couldn't get it all out and he had to pad his ass with toilet paper and a turtle of shit and go on stage.
Oh wow.
And it's like, that's comedy.
Yeah.
Joe
That's
List
what-
is so
Yeah.
funny. And if you like knew, he has such a weird face. Like if you knew him in a bathroom being like, oh, fuck.
He looks
So
like
nervous.
my cousin who's also a Boston suburb guy. Like those
Yeah.
Boston guys have a look to them that's like they've had to work through a lot to get to where they are. Like Bobby Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, like I relate to guys like him because I was raised without a dad. I was raised in a lot of the same sort of. He was in and out of like. I mean, Bobby Kelly was like in rehab by like 15. So
Yeah,
I never had
crazy.
that. Like I was too shamed with my Catholic upbringing to like ever drink when I was young or do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had all this crazy. So when I hear him talk about like wanting to be a good dad, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been like, and I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to this, have been
Yeah.
like on a run listening to like his podcast being like,
Yeah.
because there's like this brotherhood that you feel, and that's what the beauty of podcasts is. In stand-up, you can just share things that you're like, oh, that's not a feeling I possess by myself.
Exactly. I think the cool thing about Bobby is like he's an alpha man for sure. And I think in this like woke culture, which we love and, you know, we're Brooklyn people, but we're kind of like phasing out what it means to be an alpha man. And I think that's kind of still some people's identity. You could be a strong man. That's fine. You know what I mean? And his podcast is all about like being a tough man, but he's so open about his feelings and being sensitive and talks about his past all the time. And I think it's the perfect combination for guys to listen to.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I could still cry
you can
in
still
public.
be masculine without. It's like the difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity. Like masculinity is very sexy.
Yeah.
It's very attractive.
Tell me about
but
it.
like, are you being masculine
Tell me
in the
about it,
healthy
boy.
way?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, are you being masculine in your daily life, but
I've
still
cried-
feeling your feelings?
Tasha,
and,
I've
like-
cried where you've looked at me and I've seen it in your eyes where you're like, you little bitch. I've been like emotional where you've like smiled at me like I won that fight.
Well, there's a difference between
I'm
just
okay.
like being emotional because you're emotional or being emotional because you're trying to be manipulative.
But that's what you think.
Oh, there she is.
Tasha's been manipulated before, and of course, men we'll pull whatever card we can to win, and you know what I
Yeah,
mean. So like,
totally.
I can understand. Like, I have freaked out before in a fight because she's counter dependent, so she'll be like walking away from me, and I'll be like
Counter dependent?
Yeah, it's
What
the
is
same
that?
exact thing, but it's the polar opposite.
She's like, I don't,
I don't
even
know.
She knows exactly what it is. It's older. The oldest daughter is the highest chance of being counter dependent, and it also kind of
Birth
like
order.
relates to being a little introverted. Tasha's introverted, which you wouldn't notice, but you know she's gonna have to have some alone time after being with people. It's just the yin yang
Yeah.
of it all. Like
I'm like that. Yeah.
He's talking about me like I'm fucked up.
no, because extroverts gain their energy from being with others. I go both ways as far as.
I go both ways.
Hey.
Well, I'm working on a new joke where like I would suck a guy's dick if it meant you couldn't call me a straight white male anymore. And I just love the idea of
Get
being
the
like,
badge.
I will blow you if I could just have an opinion online.
Look,
and
I
not-
have the gay badge.
yeah. Give it over.
Ceremony we do. Yeah.
Do you know Ian Fidance?
Another name, but not.
He opens for Nikki Glazer a lot. Shout out, he's great. But he has this joke. He's bi, and he's like, "Yeah, I like eating pussy, but every blue moon, I kind of feel like a gay little werewolf."
I feel like eating pussy. You just have to like. It's an all or nothing thing. It's like at the like we.
You
we-
better go for it.
You gotta commit. You gotta commit.
Don't-
We could sense hesitation. We're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, what's going on down there? It's like, I'll be here if you need me.
I don't think I could draw a vagina. I don't even know what it looks
But in the reverse, I don't know if Tasha's commitment skills on the blowjob. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
That's because
Zach might have tips.
blowjobs are
Are
so
disgusting.
much worse than eating pussy,
Yeah,
and no one talks
seriously.
about
But-
it.
I don't know. I disagree. I disagree.
Put this whole can in your mouth and stay there.
Well, I don't have a LaCroix cock.
Don't
that-
joke. Yeah.
Oh,
But-
you wish. That'd be
but
great.
Women have, there's flaps and folds and caves. There's a lot going on there. And there's discharging, which is
Vestibules.
natural. There's things going on in there that I didn't eat out. I mean, that was the last of the exploration I've done because, like, I don't know. It's like, what? It's like, it's almost, there's a weird way to relate it, but with Boone having diarrhea, I had to.
thing.
No, but I had to wipe his ass. I had to pull the tail up and wipe his ass. And it was the grossest thing ever. And then after I did it, I was like, that wasn't too bad. I mean, once you get in there,
It's parenthood.
it was
Like it was the fear of it more than
it was at
actually.
night, and I had the flashlight on him, and I'm just like holding the ass
like,
up.
ugh.
And I'm like, if he shits on my phone, and I had to, and I was like, okay. And then the same, when you go down to someone, you're exploring something that's new, and you're exploring a new body, and this and that, and it's not as scary, but it's not as scary. I don't know. That's how do we get on that?
There's just something about dicks and cocks that are just so beautifully genuine. You can't fool a dick.
You can't.
Like, a dick is going to be there or it's not going to be there. And if it's not there, it's not there.
Wow, when did you become a fucking gypsy?
When you're staring down the barrel of it, it's giving you its all.
Can
It's like,
can you look at a guy and size him up before?
I mean, no, but weirdly, I don't know if this is a special skill, but I could tell what your penis looks like based on your fingers. I can just do it.
What?
Yeah. And look, girls,
Ladies?
look,
Give us the secret.
well,
I
a
like-
wide
it's not
thumb is
like-
a big dick.
It's not like I can see your dick and or see your thumbs or your fingers and be like, I know exactly what it looks like. But if you see them next to each other, you're like, oh,
You could sense it.
yeah. Like those people.
Do you make
who've got
people
those-
pose with their dick and their fingers like this?
Yeah, every dick pic, I demand a nail shot afterwards.
That makes sense though, because like you can tell someone's toes, like whether they're Roman, Grecan. There's like different types
yeah.
of toes. Which one's the
Yeah.
longer one? So like, why wouldn't that go to your fingers and your?
It just makes sense. I don't know. I might need to talk to some straight guys of how that relates to vaginas. Maybe there's something with the.
There's no
girl's finger.
vagina
No,
correlation.
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. It's like you crack open the egg and you find what's in. You don't
you're
know
like,
fucking clue.
Either it's normal or it's fucking not.
I will say this: there are certain sports that lend to different muscles. Like if someone's like an equestrian, you guys slow sipped at the same time. What are you gonna say, Dave? If someone's an equestrian, they have super strong vaginal and Kegel muscles and thighs. Yeah, they're fucking on a horse. Imagine that all day.
Like
They're
constant Kegels?
constant
Oh my
Kegels.
God, that's kind of sad. I
People-
never thought about
people that
that.
do-
Those
people that-
poor women.
Right?
Sorry to interrupt, but oh my God.
No, I mean people that do spin. There's different, and then culturally, the French are really big in like doing Kegel workouts.
Oh, really?
There's different places that they value stuff like that differently. I don't know why I got into that, but it is a muscle versus a guy's dick. It's like that's a muscle too, but he's beating off and doing whatever he's going to do either way. Like there's no physical workout that a guy's going to do that's going to
Yes, you
strengthen
can.
his balls.
Maybe you could.
You can do Kegels, right? Like a cock
the pee,
ring.
like I'm doing it now. No, it's like when you're peeing and then you stop peeing.
it.
Yeah, just if you keep doing that, then sorry if I'm saying this, but you can control your bust.
Yeah.
when you are really good at male Kegels.
I like how you're explaining this like a historian. Like you have your hands going. So then what you do?
The bust.
So is
under
everyone
your-
doing Kegels right now? Because I definitely
Yeah, I
am.
am.
I'm noodled.
I do them in Ubers. Yeah.
You do them in Ubers? It's a tradition.
Like, oh god, because I don't want to talk to them. Yeah, so
I just do Pilates with a bunch of middle-aged moms because I live in Park Slope. So they all just talk about doing Kegels and their loose vaginas all the time and their children's allergies, and it's really a thrilling community.
But I think women like you didn't.
I'm like,
even,
okay.
Tasha, you didn't even know about this, right? Because we talked about Kegels before, and you're like, women do that. Like, I think women after they
No,
have
I've
kids.
known about Kegels for a long time. I don't know specifically what you were talking about.
I don't know where you get your sources. From.
Yeah, I don't know specifically
Cite
what you
your
were talking
sources.
about. But
well, we've done a lot of
I
exploration.
feel like, what's the point though if you can just get it like sewn up after your kid? You know,
because it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the outside; it's the whole fucking.
Well, after
Sew
you
it
have
up.
a kid, don't they have to like snip the two holes to make one mondo hole?
I think they
You know what
pre-cut
I mean?
it sometimes.
I feel
so
like if you're
uninterested in
that's
that.
different. If you're going all the way to your bum, that's bad news.
Yeah, that's like
That's a big baby.
yeah.
I love
sorry,
like some
guys.
moms. There's some moms listening. Like they're completely wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're talking about. You don't slit
of
it
us
through
have
your
it.
asshole. That's not.
No, you do not
You
do
don't
that.
shit it
That's
out?
like,
Guy
that's like a
explains
big
how
mistake.
pregnancy happens.
But you
But they
can.
do cut it.
Yeah, they do.
And like sometimes people tear even beyond what they cut. Like they cut
My
to make
aunt
more
said
room.
it sounded like chicken,
No.
chicken scissors, like the meat scissors. Yeah. And she also said they put the curtain up. She had a C-section for her second kid, and like the home video, it's like my uncle like looking at her face above the curtain, but in the flurry of the baby, you get one shot behind the curtain, and her intestines are just out.
It's like,
Yeah,
Did
and
they take
the
your
family was
intestines out?
watching it together, like her in the hospital, and then flash behind the curtain. Everyone's like,
And that's what they say. They say the husband should like experience it. And I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't think you
think
should
so.
pass the knees. I think stay up. Stay
I
away.
mean, maybe it could be interesting. I guess it just depends on how queasy you are. Like, are you going to be able to look at me the same after you've seen all that mess?
Yeah.
And like a lot of women poop while they're giving birth.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my husband will be brunching somewhere when my baby is born. Yeah.
Oh, it's a girl?
clean.
Cool.
I don't need to be wiping Tasha's ass with a flashlight. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I feel like I've done this before. Where's the tail? I don't need that. I don't know. So I don't know. We're not in a rush. We're getting old, though. We're in our 30s.
Oy.
At least I am. I don't know if Tasha's age has been mentioned yet. One more thing. Bleep it out. Tasha's for my birthday, I said we were 64, and she got mad because I like combined ages. And I was like, I didn't tell anyone your age, but we're 64.
You could be
I'm
a lot
12.
older.
Yeah.
I'm clearly 42.
And you're 36.
But so we had met. So when Tasha, when you were out walking the dog, Gabby mentioned she was dating a guy who lived in Koreatown, and she lived in New York, and he moved back to New York for her, and then it quickly.
Oh my God, it was a mess.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he move in with you, or like what?
No, we live separately. You know, took our time a little bit with that. But New York is just, I think it's just a taxing place for everything. So when you move there, you're fucking working all the time. And it's not like this, you know, I feel like LA, you could hang out and you could go to work and then go to a bar afterwards.
You know
LA,
what's actually funny is like it's totally the opposite.
Really?
New York is a way more social city than Los Angeles.
I agree.
Because everything's so far here. You have to
It's
like
true.
everything is a plan. In New York, I was always running into friends without a plan.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I
Or
love
like
that
There's no
someone
about
that's
plan.
in your neighborhood, or you're like going through someone's neighborhood on your way home, and you know a friend that lives there. Text them, hey, do you want to grab a bite?
Yeah.
Like it's very like quick and easy. Whereas here, you're like, do I want to sit in 45 minutes of traffic to meet this friend for
to have
coffee?
two $14 drinks and then
Yeah.
go on another like 45 minutes home. It's like
Yeah,
I just
it-
end up
But
smoking weed on my couch all the time.
every day.
Yeah.
I get home and Tasha smiles and I go, "Did you eat an edible?" And she goes, "Yeah." Her friends are on Netflix pretty much. Just she's like, now she's friends with Suits until that show ends. And then she's friends with Fixer Uppers, and it's like, what's Chip and Joanne doing
Suits.
today?
Megan.
Megan, that
Dude,
bitch.
I started
Yeah.
watching
Sorry.
it because I like hadn't seen it and I needed to know about her.
I
I got obsessed.
Yeah.
I stood in on that show on the pilot when they shot the pilot in New York.
Did you meet Megan?
Yeah, well, yeah, and now like when I said I met Tasha and I kind of eyed up Tasha, I was like, oh yeah, it's a girl, she's on a pilot, probably her first big break. Maybe like I got a shot, and now she's a fucking princess.
Yeah,
Literally.
no, she's the top. I mean, I'm pissed. Like, why her?
Zach texts me the day of the royal wedding and he goes, I'm watching the fucking royal wedding. I'm so pissed off. That was supposed to be me.
It was. Imagine. It's 2018, me, Prince Harry, and there's no more princes left because like that shit's over.
No, there's a couple. I did some light research.
There's some Spanish royalty.
Yeah, there's some
You could do
Spanish.
You really said, oh, okay, adios mios.
I saw this
thankful.
tweet that was so funny. It was like Selena Gomez's friend gave her a kidney. Meghan Markle's friends set her up with a prince. Like, I'm not mad at my friends, but like they could step it up.
What the fuck?
Selena Gomez got a kidney.
Yeah, from her
Yeah.
best friend.
Her kidney failed.
Yeah.
She has lupus?
Yeah, maybe.
I think
I
lupus.
think it is lupus.
Wow, I guess they are not gods. I guess they can also die
Yeah.
like us.
She at one of the award shows, she like won an award and she dedicated it to her friend. It was like a big tearful.
This is why I don't like having a producer. We don't need a fact check if she has lupus or not. We've decided she has lupus.
She has lupus.
if we're
Justin.
wrong, they'll write in and let us know.
Now,
Justin.
I have to write this shit before we get into Selena Gomez trivia. So I think what Gabby meant with with this guy who moved back to New York is that you had your own life going on.
And
Yes.
he's like a guy in a new city and like dependent on you for
Yeah.
like his social life. Like moving no matter what is super
But
stressful.
he went to
but-
NYU.
He had a community. I think it's just we're so protective of our own communities and schedules and routines in New York that you're like not willing to let someone else into your routine.
Did you ask him to move back, or was he like, I'm coming back, and you were like, oh,
It was a
boy.
combination. Yeah.
And how
I
old were you?
hated
How old
him.
were you guys at the time?
He was 26 and I was 22.
So
years
yeah, you're
ago.
both
Yeah.
still pretty young.
Still babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like in New York, you stay 22 for a long time in New
Yeah.
York. You stay like, and for a guy to be 26, that's so young. When I was 26 in New York, just running around.
IPAs. Yeah.
Just peeing. I peed.
IPAs.
I used to pee everywhere in New York.
Oh yeah.
I love
My buddy
peeing on the
taught me
streets.
how to pee in between the subway cars.
That's a
Oh.
classic.
On a Brooklyn to New York. Yeah, Gooch taught me this. My buddy Gooch, and he was like,
I
So
love that his name's
disgusting.
Gooch. That's a
that's
callback.
That's his real last name.
Really?
Yeah.
Gooch?
What's his name?
Ben Gooch.
Oh.
Apparently,
I know
his
someone
brother.
named Steve Gooch.
Yeah, apparently his brother was the one who they named it Gooch after because he was involved with the Jackass crew. I don't know if it's true or not, but either way, yeah, it's a lot of Gooch conversation. You know, Gooch means the taint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like taint area
Between the
wiping.
genitals and the hole.
Yeah, which is where I've been wiping the dog's ass.
I think I have a joke about
Gooch?
my Gooch. An old one.
Is taint are those like gender
Synonymous.
neutral words? Do girls?
I think a
have
taint and a
taints?
gooch is the same thing.
Yeah, they're both the area that makes you go.
What's the scientific word for it?
There is a scientific word for it, but
Is that perineum?
I think no, that's your asshole. I know that.
No, that's anus.
You just got so pompous when you said
it's
that.
like right out the outer asshole.
what do the gays know about? That sounded bad. What do the gays know? What do the gays know about taints and assholes? That like what's some?
We're experts.
We don't really do any butt play. I've gotten the old.
Oh my God, you're missing out. Men everywhere touch your prostate. It's like the secret hole.
I've touched
Ali
it
Wong
while
talks about
I've
this.
touched it while I've jerked off a few times because if
You stuck your finger up your butt.
not
while
up the butt, but it's
No,
kind of
that's
like
how you get there,
It's like if you
right?
if you pull a fish
Yeah.
out of a
It's
boat,
like-
you kind of
You hook it.
You're like,
hook it.
come here.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like,
and if you
come
hold
here.
your prostate, it can kind of stop. It can kind of like delay your cum or hold it. It's kind of this kind
Yeah, it's our G spot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they have
But
a
I've-
clit, or I assume.
See, this one guy put his finger into my butthole in Salt Lake City specifically, and I was like,
book.
uh-oh.
Like, you need to have warning for that. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta let me know.
You can't throw it
Am
in
I
there.
prepared? Did I
Yeah,
when was the last
prepare.
time I went?
Yeah, where are you from? Do you have a
See,
good relationship
all
with
the
your mom?
horror
You could just
stories
throw a
I
finger in my
hear.
butt.
Yeah.
No offense, but all the horror stories with anal sex is I hear with women, because gay men are like, we're ready.
Yeah.
Like, we've made sure.
Yeah, but you have the prostate. We just have
Yeah,
an
I don't
asshole.
get that, what they're doing back there. You guys.
Women can have an anal orgasm.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I know a girl who's loving it back there.
Who? Name names.
I can't, but her name is.
I'm kidding. But this is her email.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not an expert. What do I know? But
you
that
just
sounds
wonder, it's like-
far-fetched.
Psychological
Yeah.
orgasm.
Well, I think there's
Oh,
something
God.
exciting, like it's forbidden and it's like
Yeah, it's forbidden fruit.
dirty and like
Yeah,
it,
like,
like
ow.
that makes
Yeah.
it exciting.
I'll be honest. I've been honest with you guys. It doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah.
Really at all. I don't know, but that's just me. I mean, I'd not to say it wouldn't. I know. I understand that I'm ignorant to things I don't know about. So while it doesn't excite me, I could come back in a couple of years and be like, "Dude, what the fuck were you thinking?" You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, but to not have permission, it's definitely a like. And yeah, as a guy, sometimes you're having sex. There's different. You don't. Sometimes
You lose
Slip and
track
slide.
where you are. Yeah.
we had a box of dildos sent to us from Adam and Eve.
Oh,
A
wow.
big old box. of different
Congratulations.
toys and things.
We actually had 2 boxes.
half of them are missing now.
I don't know what
No,
happened.
actually, you haven't had to charge. They come with these chargers, like your toothbrush. It's like a contactless charger. They're really
That's
these are
hilarious.
$150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all look like
they like do
Pixar.
lots of. They're like very frightening.
but the guys,
They're robots.
the thing I always wanted to try was a cock ring because I've been to gay bars before, and like the dancer guys are probably have cock rings on because
you're
they're
a dick engorged.
yeah, but it's also
Engorged?
Just what he's a scientist.
But and I don't. It's not like a thing that I need an engorged dick, but it is an added thing to sex for a guy. And like I don't know if enough straight men use cock rings.
Are playing around.
I
you know?
I don't even know. I've
I've
never been
But it's
near
a
cock
simple
ring.
thing because that's the one thing they sent that was like something I was like, oh, cool, because it was like literally a box of just different, missiles and dildos and all these things. And then this tiny little package was this tiny little cock ring with like one of those like watch batteries that you turn on and it vibrates.
You like pulled a little piece of paper out.
And it's got like 2 separate holes for the balls, so like it's like the balls, and it's just a weird. I was like,
It
why do
looks
the
like
balls?
it looks scary. Like anything that touches your, I don't. For one, testicles. I don't know why evolution didn't put some kind of bone cage around testicles.
Put a
Very
fucking bra
strange.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
right?
like they say like monkeys can attack and rip off your dick like that.
That's so
like they
annoying.
do that. That's what they'll tear your face off and they'll rip your balls off.
Oh
They
my
will.
God.
The balls are just hanging out in almost every species.
Yeah.
At least all the different, humans,
Primates.
monkeys, primates,
Yeah.
they've all got like the balls. Hey, dogs. I mean, we had the
Mammals,
Basset Hound
yeah.
rescue thing. There was one Basset Hound, his dogs were just scraping behind him. and like
Oh,
all you gotta do is
put a bra on them.
yeah.
Poor baby.
Which, by the way, we had to put a dog diaper on Boone. It has a little hole for his tail. We put it on, and his dick doesn't even fit in it, and it's
It's size extra large.
Fuck yeah, Boone.
Yeah.
He's such a long dog that they've grown needing long dicks, or else they can't procreate. They need long dicks. That's why like whales have like giant dicks.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
So you put it on, and his dick's just hanging out, just kind of like
This diaper is
hanging
useless, basically.
and then he shits through the tail hole. It's a real tough
It's been an
engineering.
adventure. That's
I love
for
the
sure.
diarrhea callback we've had all episodes, so it's good to get to know you.
Thrilling.
guys.
Diarrhea and gooches. Those have been our two.
So circle back to you. The relationship. How soon? How many days? Was it a quick thing? A month in?
It was like 2 months. 2
2
months
months
in
of
New
him
York. It was-
in New York, and
Yeah,
and
done.
and we were like, oh geez, sorry you uprooted your life.
Yeah. Ugh. And then he moved back.
Oh really?
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
well, that was.
And now he's out
simple.
here.
I know.
Have you stayed in touch?
He's here
or no?
somewhere, yeah, I guess.
I told them when you were out walking the dog how I loved that TV show on HBO, and then you was like, "Hey, I dated the guy who created it," and it's like just fucking snip my balls off right now. Like you have women have no idea how sensitive that is to say shit like that. Like I gotta write a bit about this, but like one of Tasha's exes has more Instagram followers than I do, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Who?
You're
Just start reporting all of their posts.
What?
Spam, spam,
Why does he
spam.
have that many Instagram followers?
I don't follow him on Instagram.
I-
What are you doing?
I was like, I do.
I was on the dog's Instagram and I saw like whatever. I wasn't stalking, and I was like, "What the fuck's this guy doing?" And now you're like, "I didn't know he had that many followers," and it's like, "What the fuck?"
What's the number? What's the number? How many?
10,000. It's not much, but it's enough to be like, "Do you buy those? What's going on? Is this a real ratio?"
I just broke like 1,200, and no one in LA cares. That would be a big deal in New York. Everyone
Six
would be like,
figures or
wow.
nothing.
Yeah.
Really? Is that true? Are Instagram followers more valuable in New York?
I
Oh,
think-
no one cares in New York, I don't think, right?
Oh, well, maybe
a little
I'm
bit.
just out of it. Here, I feel like everybody's an Instagram model.
Everyone
Yeah.
has 10K.
And I go on Tinder, and everybody's got like that blonde haircut, or like everyone's dyeing their hair bleach blonde now.
Oh, yeah. Like Bieber.
But this filter game online has really changed things. I mean, you can look really good with a few. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't see, but it's enough to get your foot in the door, and then you're like, I want to date anyway. Like, I mean, with men, it's probably the filter game is probably not that big of a deal. Like, you probably can understand what you're
Yeah,
getting.
they just send you a torso pic, and you're like, sick.
That's
Gonna
cool.
blow each other tonight.
Is there with heterosexual couples? I think, from my own experience, that women are most judgmental on a guy's height and his hair. Bald guys. Like, is there anything that's like a deal breaker for you, Gabby, with a guy?
Height, because I'm tall. I'm 5'10". Hair doesn't, but like I've dated a couple of people who are balding. I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a little grounding. You're like, all right, you're balding, dude.
sure the
I have
guy's
the
like,
upper hand.
glad
You know, I kind of use it.
Glad my hair cracks you up.
Yeah.
This is fun.
And I like teeth. Good teeth.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
I like
Yeah.
that team. Yeah.
But those are all just indicators that like someone's got their shit together. I mean, height's not. But that's the thing. It's like I don't think men care too much about a woman's height. I don't think. I mean, it's like, oh, she's tall. That might be cool. But I know women that are like, fuck it. If a guy's not like 6'2", and it's
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Like, can you date a guy who's 5'8"?
No, I'm 5'10". Like that's.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Could you date someone who was 5'10"?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she'd never wear heels ever.
Yeah.
And you mentioned and
I have a lot of shoes. I want to really take advantage of
you
them.
don't hear this often with comedians, but you mentioned you actually enjoy dating comedians.
Yeah, I talk about this
Defend yourself,
every now
please.
and then on the podcast because for some reason in comedy, I've never seen this in music, in acting, anywhere else. Comics either date comics specifically or will refuse to date comics. And I never really understood that, so I started asking a lot of female comedians, what's the deal with that? And there's really no...
Seinfeld. What's the deal?
What's the deal? I can't find a consensus. Like, I just like people who are in the same community as me. And I like people who are, like, honest on stage and talk about shitting their pants. I appreciate that. Recognize trash. But, like, I don't want to date a guy in finance.
Yeah.
You want to be with someone who sort of understands your thing too,
Yeah.
like what you're doing.
Well, some
you can
people
be a
want
little
stability.
sympathetic
Though.
about.
Some people do want the stability, something to come home to. But like we're both vagrants, but in a different sort of sub genre, genre of entertainment.
Yeah,
But it doesn't fit.
We
Like, I wish
understand
you
each
worked-
other's schedules.
I would love it if you worked 8 to midnight. If that, you know what I mean? No, I just love it.
Yeah.
But like she only mainly works mornings, afternoons, whatever, typical daytime stuff. So like then our schedule is like we might sneak in dinner together, we might not, we might just do breakfast, like whatever. But I think with comics at least you understand the hustle of what you're doing.
Exactly.
But there's also like, could you date a guy that's a second-year comedian, or do you like a guy that's farther along?
Maybe a little farther along.
So you like a little professor-student sort of.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Bad for male comedians the first couple of years. It's like
it's rough.
There's a funnier dude who's going to be knocking down those chicks.
I think I just grew up in entertainment, so I just feel most comfortable around people who are.
How about musicians? Could you date?
I've dated a lot of musicians, unfortunately.
Now, did they know? I mean, that's good for the musician to be like dating a Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that gets a little like, all right, why are you around? You know what I mean?
Women always have to screen out, I think, dudes for different reasons, right? Like, I know, Tasha, you've like, when you were walking the dog, I mentioned how when I first came to LA to see you, when I was like first moved here, I came to Public House and like you had like 6 dudes that were like friends that were hanging out, and they're all gone. They've all just disappeared. Like, guys, you just were.
But none of those guys were trying to date me. I think I've just sort of backed away from that community a little bit.
The eye doctor was.
Well, yeah.
He's an eye doctor?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sick.
What's his name?
He's married now.
Fuck.
Yeah. He like tried to kiss me once, but that was it. And none of those other guys were trying to date me.
I tried to kiss you 3 times, so I win. But the point of that is that sometimes, you know, consent obviously is important, but sometimes you will get rejected, and you could still try again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have you ever rejected a guy?
It's the long game.
Like, I mean, maybe Tasha, I was just bad. My approach was bad. I was like friends with her, and I wasn't like, this is what I want. And I was kind of like, we're trying. But like, yeah. Like that was my New York game, which apparently wasn't good enough.
New York game is a little too upfront, and I will admit this about us. We're like, fucking kiss me. What are we? I have an appointment. So if you could just wrap this up.
And it's the old Seinfeld, like, do you want to come up for coffee? It's like, it's very, I think in New York, it's like very well, I don't know, known what, I think sex, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I think it's about getting your intention out there right away.
Yeah.
For like us, we were friends and hanging out, and then all of a sudden you like want to kiss me? No, that's weird. We're friends.
Yeah.
It's like right away somebody, especially in New York, and I don't think that this is a bad thing the way that people are direct, but like guys would ask me, do you want to go to dinner? Can I take you to dinner? You know, like that says date.
That's insane, though.
Yeah. And I'm always like, no, I'll meet you at the bar afterwards.
It's funny.
See, isn't that a little like too direct for culture sometimes to be like, ask someone on an official date? Like, Tasha's a little old school. A little bit, I think.
I like that. I think it's really important because you're defining your intentions. So many times I've been confused when somebody's like, do you want to hang out? It's like, well, are we hanging out as friends or like work people? You know, sometimes people like want to network, and you're like, is this a business meeting or are you into me? Because I need to know. I'm going to prep myself mentally differently for like dealing with a business meeting or dealing with a dude who's trying to get in my pants.
One, I have to shave my vagina. One, I don't.
Yeah. I have to prep.
Business meeting,
physically.
you have to shave your vagina. That's the one.
The other one.
I know when Tasha's got a big audition. There was a little while there when Tasha was kind of growing out her armpit hair, and I think she was just testing me.
I think all women, we did that for a hot second.
I
like,
really
women's rights.
I like want to get
like,
laser,
I feel sweaty,
but like not on my armpits. Like, but that's like the place that's most useful.
Yeah,
like on your armpits.
I mean,
so
that's the easiest place to shave.
Hair. I wish it would just go away.
I
have to trim mine up. I have like no hair in the rest of my body, but I got pit hair.
I think I was just curious because here's some truth. Armpit hair is different on every person. Some people have very curly, bushy armpit hair. Some people have like stick straight, like lays flat armpit hair.
Yeah.
And
Mine does the
wanted to know like what mine would be like.
You don't want to even know.
I wanted to know.
Look at her eyebrows. You know what they're going to be like. She's going to have big ass froze under her armpits.
But
you're a hairy person.
I just really, I wanted to know. I feel like there's some freedom to like having your armpit
It's so
hair.
weird.
If I ever booked a role in like a 70s or like a 60s like hippie movie, I don't want them to have to glue on armpit hair.
Do it yourself.
My real armpit hair.
Yeah.
Glue it on.
Glue it on. An armpit wig.
Well, I try to do the inverse of the men. I like when my downstairs is just bald eagle, but no one likes that, so I can't do it.
I hate the argument where like, because I like shaved and things like that, but I hate the argument because like, oh, but it's like fucking an 8-year-old. It's like, what the
It's
fuck
just
kind
natural.
Is it?
But that's what people always say. I don't like it. It feels like I'm fucking, and it's like, what? Yeah, what? Like,
No,
that's a weird.
That's weird that you even think of that.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you're gonna go down on someone, you want like a bowling alley.
Like slick.
Versus like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
and for guys, you want like 5 o'clock shadow, maybe down there. I'd say, nice little stubble.
I haven't
above
shaved
the-
in so long, even up here. Like I keep it trimmed. I don't even own a razor anymore.
Much more convenient.
Yeah,
to
I do ball trimmer, but I got this one, and it my old one you could get as close as you want. This new one will, and I sent a photo. I sent a photo of Tasha. It was a fucking there will be blood. It was a moment where it was it was like if you ever mowed a lawn and you run over a tennis ball and it shoots out the side. There was a piece of skin stuck to this thing.
This is so gross.
Oh
It's
my
making
God.
skin crawl.
Bone
Yeah.
cage. Where's the bone cage?
Yeah, exactly. Need a bone cage. Yeah, and it was like, but it's like the balls. So like then I had a bloody ball that's stuck to the side of my leg. As a little blood.
You should have
plaster.
wrapped it in gauze.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun Halloween ball
I
picture.
have like phantom pains. You know that with guys?
Vicarious.
Yeah.
No, that's a real feeling.
When you just talk about your balls getting hurt.
That we have that in vaginas, I think. When someone's like, I have cramps, and you're like, my vagina hurts too.
vicarious consumption. If you watch me get my balls kicked, you will feel a portion of that. You will. Your brain goes, the species hurts.
Ow,
Like,
ow. It's
yeah,
like
it's
a weird, like nauseated toothache almost in your balls.
But it works the
Yeah.
other way. If you watch, they did tests. If I give a homeless guy a buck, that would make you happier than me, because you'd watch someone else do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
It's like
it's
the
a
phantom
weird
thing.
Yeah, it's a weird. So anyway, I don't know what else.
It's like also why we yawn.
Yeah.
You know.
Now we have to.
Huh.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what I also read recently? That our body tries to equalize us. So, like cute aggression, when you see something so cute, you're like, I just think it's so cute.
I want to bite it.
Or you cry when you're happy. It's like your
Interesting.
body, or nervous laughter. It's like your body doesn't let you shoot up to any kind of emotion. It try to evens you out.
Yeah.
I cry more with nice things than bad.
Yeah.
I happy cry a
Yes.
lot. Dog videos online, lots
Oh
of
my
happy
god,
crying.
the cochleal implant ones get me every time. Or
When they can hear for the first
The
time.
glasses! The glasses!
But also
Zach starts to weep now.
here's how you want to destroy someone, right? You do a video of a soldier coming home
Yes.
to his dog,
Yeah.
but also comes out of the closet in the same video to his grandparents,
Not to his parents. The grandparents brings it up a notch.
and then the grandparents show like an ultrasound
Of the first video.
Yeah, that's that one video you would just know what the fuck.
And then they get the glasses and he's like, blue.
You should make that sketch. That's a great. I think we've covered it all. Is there anything that we've missed with that? And then a prisoner is released from North Korea. And it's the video. Maybe
Yeah,
it's too
and
much.
then
I don't know. We have to end soon, but so can you guys? What are you guys promoting? Your Instagrams or any shows
Yeah.
coming up where people can see you? This will come out on Memorial Day.
Oh, fun. Well, you could follow me on Instagram at Gabby is Bryan. And then I have a new podcast with Katie Hannigan. Do you know Katie?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. She's amazing. It's called The Apocalypse. We do apocalypse scenarios. It's very fun.
Tasha should listen to
really good
that.
one.
You would
Yeah.
love that. Tasha's always
I'm
like, "Dude,
like secretly a prepper.
Yes, so am I. Yep.
I really love it. I
really
imagine
fun.
like the end of the world all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah.
There's so many
Everywhere I
different
go,
ways it could go.
I'm like, that's a great place to hide out. Like I'm just always like, it's
Yeah.
always in the back of my mind.
You should Google $1 million bunkers and it'll change your life.
yeah."
Really?
Yeah, it's a real hole to
Well,
go
they-
down.
It's a show.
I just
No,
saw,
it's like
it's
a
like
community.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
community of like bunkers. I just saw like a meme that was like, what would be the 5 TV shows you would watch if you had to live in a bunker for 25 years? And mine would go to just long running shows like Law and Order, SVU, like 22
Oh, yeah.
seasons. Like
Yeah.
long, like not like I wouldn't want like an HBO show where you get 8 episodes. I wouldn't want that. I would want like full, like Lost would be a good one because you get like 8 or 9
Yes.
seasons
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like long shit, and you more you watch, you
Friends.
still don't know. Friends would be
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Quack Wacko. That's
Quack wacko.
that's
We're gonna
me.
get you up to 1,300 followers.
Hey, oh my god! I'm gonna freak out. No one's gonna care.
Or they can follow you to Blazing Saddles, right?
Yeah. Flaming Saddles.
Saddles,
That's
sorry.
exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh, and we have a sketch comedy group.
Bulb comedy.
Bulb comedy.
Like a light bulb comedy.
Bulb
Me and
comedy.
Gabby
Yeah.
make sketches. We're really funny. We talk about dairy. We talk about puking. It's great.
We have a sketch where we throw up on each other. It's very thrilling.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Oatmeal.
Oh, that's a good
Zach
one.
was in charge of the fake throw up, and I
love
just
that
let him
shit.
take it.
Yeah.
I was
Now,
like, make sure there's no dairy in it.
do you have to like spit it?
Yeah, so she would like put it in her mouth, and then she'd be like, and then we'd cut it, and then show me, and then have someone like throw a bucket in my face. So it looks like it's like a
Oh, that's
lot.
fun.
A big
Yeah.
splash.
There's one scene where you just throw it you throw it up right on into my eyes. It was behind my contacts.
Who took a better oatmeal load to the face?
She did.
Oh my
Because
God.
I had strep throat the next day. Like that morning, I woke up and it felt like broken glass, and I'm like, I can't cancel
You're
the
lucky.
shoot. Yeah, I
Didn't get
can't.
strep throat in your
Didn't
eye.
tell me.
I didn't tell her till afterwards. I was like, my throat feels like shattered glass. And
I was like, you just threw up into my eyeball.
She's like squeegeeing her face, like, thanks.
I
I
knew
was out
someone.
of commission for like days afterwards. Yeah.
I knew someone in college, and they did like a shoot the boot in their fraternity, and got athlete's foot in their throat.
Oh.
Yeah, because they did it with a real boot.
That's a big thing in, like, I think
I'll never
Australia- I
forget
think
that.
Rugby
It's
teams
disgusting.
do that a lot. Or, like, they'll chug something out of their out of their cup or something like that.
That's
yeah.
so. Get a cup.
We had
I love rugby.
we had a
players.
thing in college.
I love
we
that.
had a thing called ringing the bell, and if you were official with a girlfriend, you would ring the bell, and everyone would come, and you'd get a funnel, and then people would pour different drinks in it, and the girl would spit in it, and although spitting
Ew.
that's probably not too bad.
Why?
Kind of
What is
like a
the
ritual?
point of
Like a
it?
loogie?
Wiccan ritual is that?
Because everyone would be like, yeah, and the girl would. I've only seen, and the girl would spit, and the guy would chug it. And I was
Straight
like,
guys are the weirdest people.
Yeah, you guys are fucking
Like, I was on a
freaks.
sports team in high school. I was on the swim team. I just wanted to look at some assholes the whole time. But literally, I'm in the shower, and these like not the hot guys are like, oh, like laughing, and they like stick their fingers up each other's butthole. They like stick their finger up my butthole, and I'm like, no.
No, I love it. No, I love it.
Yeah, it's like, stop. Are we dating now? Like, it's different with me. Yeah.
they call that the 4x1 relay. That's
Yeah.
what they.
Oh, we just touch each other's inner assholes.
Yeah, we had a lot of grab ass too. We had a lot of baseball teams get big on grab ass.
Or
yeah.
gay chicken, like Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Just
and they
kiss each other.
Oh, yeah. No, we never did the gay chicken.
Where the two guys are like, gay chicken, it's like they pretend like they're going to kiss, and the first one to back away loses.
That's like a Bobby Kelly move. I
Yeah,
feel
that
like
is.
that's like a
The
Bobby
whole
Kelly move.
point is to kiss.
I'm awesome at that game because
Yeah.
I'll just kiss him. Yeah.
You're like, come here.
Never lost.
I've never lost the game of gay chicken.
Wild.
Oh yeah,
Now-
and YKWd. I forgot to plug that.
Everyone. I mean, and you know what? There's probably no crossover between this podcast and that one because they're a little different. But
Yeah.
you could not recommend it enough if people would just want to like hang with friends and hear comedians just bullshit. There's never an agenda.
Yeah.
There's never like a topic. They just go into shit. And in today's world, it's become very hard to like find a place where people can be honest. And I think I think the stock for comedians is going up because it's the last excuse people have to just say what they're actually feeling, and it doesn't mean it's a right feeling, but like if you can just express how you're feeling, and you won't feel like a
Well, it's
fucking.
just a conversation.
Yeah, it's a
It gets a
conversation.
little controversial. It gets a little sexual. They talk about eating ass constantly.
That's like a renaissance now for ass eating. I feel
Yeah.
like it's everywhere in pop culture.
It's true.
It's awesome.
Well, there's no other things like butts became big a couple years ago. Like the butt revolution, America was never known for its
I'm
ass.
so grateful
I was
for
just
the
gonna
butt
say that.
revolution.
Thank
Tasha's got an
I
ass.
a
She's got
big
an ass.
butt.
Oh my
Me
God.
too.
We were living in the 90s, stick skinny, like
Oh, yeah, like
straight
the-
up and down toothpick world. I would not be having
No.
a good time. but
2010s, it's all about ass and donk, you know?
Yeah.
Squats.
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
big
I'm
ass.
so happy that
My-
asses are in.
My
Me
friend
too.
from Europe, he's like, all American. No, that's not the accent. Hello, hold on, let me do it. He was like, all
Let me do
Americans
it.
have big butts, and they think it's because of the meat. Or like, all of our meat has
Our
hormones and
hormones.
shit.
Yeah, that
so
could
all
be.
Americans just have these massive
Well,
asses.
the British are known for their tits, big white American tits.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah,
I thought they
big
were
busty, and I think it's not. I think it's more because they have like that page. Was it like page 8 or something? There's a page in like the tabloids that shows topless chicks. It's always a new busty chick
Oh,
every day.
sweet.
That's
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong. It's probably not called page 8, but people listening that have been to, I went to England. I was like, holy shit! And there's just some
There's just porn in
busty,
the
fucking big chick eating a burger. It's like a very British sort of thing.
Oh, like
but-
an obese woman eating a
yeah,
burger?
well, but it's only men are they're focused on the tits, but it's a sloppy. The British, I mean, it's a sloppy.
Yeah, I hear they actually are almost going to beat us with obesity.
Really?
Like, it's
Really?
like the United States is like down.
Oh, finally.
Because, vegan is
Boy.
huge here, and
Yeah.
everyone's like,
We're a fat country, though.
we are. Well, I think we still have more fat people just because we're way bigger, but
we're cleaning up.
percentage-wise,
They'll beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll beat us in certain regions, but they're not going to beat us in the South.
I know.
The South is
True.
fucking
I think,
fat.
what is it? It's like by 2025, I think in 1 in 4 UK residents will be morbidly obese, or just obese.
I was technically obese last year because
Don't
it's
quote
only
me on that.
10% above what you're supposed to be. My height's supposed to be like 165, and I was 185. So I was literally obese.
No.
Yes.
you're full of
No,
it.
not
185. I was so fat. That's so
What
LA.
happened to
That's so LA.
overweight? Like in between.
No, but that's what overweight is. That's not morbidly obese. That's just obese. 10% or whatever above your body fat. I don't have a degree. I don't at least. I don't know.
I'm
but-
also going through an obese spell right now. I'm just like really puffy.
What's a fat gay guy?
If I'm bloated, I like hate myself.
Yeah. If I have
no such
one
thing.
bagel, I'm like, I'm so fat.
Oh no, seriously. Well, that's my thing is my sugar addiction is through the roof. I'll have and sugar meaning anything that's carbs because that's all jacked with sugar. Like Little Caesars is around the corner.
Oh, fuck.
So I'll come home and like if I had a rough day or something, my trigger it's not to drink a lot or beat my wife. It's just eat a fucking pizza. Just eat a pizza.
Take it all on that pizza.
And she's a psycho where she can have like a bite and be like, I'm done. And I'll be like, I need
Oh my
to
God,
finish
bless your heart.
all these plates.
I'm like,
Just
I need
like
a.
Gabby. Gabby like smells the meal and she's like, I'm full.
I actually breathed a lot today, so I'm pretty full.
But if there isn't enough for leftovers, say there's 8 meatballs and I only want 5. I'm not going to eat 3 meatballs the next day. I'm eating all 8.
I'm
Why
so
not?
bad with leftovers. I don't eat them. I'm like, this is useless food to me.
I love leftovers. I'm the queen of leftovers. I can save 2 bites of something and call it leftovers.
I'm, like,
Tasha- That's
jealous of that.
amazing.
I'm
Tasha
jealous.
grew up. She's like
Hilarious.
she could make a cookbook on how to microwave anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
me
she ever
too.
used an oven until I moved in. I'm the
not true,
I'm the
actually,
women.
but-
I've taught her how to bake. I make quiches.
Ooh.
This is my coming out. I'm making a quiche for Zach. Zach and I are having quiches. Talking about
Zack's here. We're making quiches.
Hi. You're wearing a beret.
That's going to be in my coming out video where I'm just like, hey, Mom, here's a quiche. She's like, I knew it.
I knew it. It says I'm gay on the quiche.
It doesn't have to. Look, we got to get out of here. We're almost at an hour and a half. So thank you guys so much for coming. And next
Thank
time
you
you're in
for
town,
having
come
us.
back on the
like this
podcast.
was only
Yeah.
5 minutes.
I know.
Yeah.
We
I
can
know,
walk the
this
dog
flew.
for
We
half
should
an
do
hour.
this again
I know, this is
sometime.
great.
Yeah, it
We'll
was
be
a long
traveling
walk.
New York next month, so maybe we'll get to run
Oh,
into
really?
you. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
there. I need to go more often, but being from Rhode
great.
Island, I need to go. I'm thinking I'm gonna. Well, you know Scopo, right? Do you know Scopo?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think he was saying he's got a show at the New York Comedy Club. I might do.
He has a great
end of-
show. It's him
end of
and
June.
Case Rosso.
It's on a Wednesday, maybe.
I don't know.
My whole thing is like book one decent show and then book my home trip around that and then fill it in with like other
Yeah.
things,
Other
this or
shows.
that. But
Yeah.
but anyway, everyone who's listening, go follow them and also our Instagram. Although I just changed the name, it's the.sap. I changed the name. It was called Sex Actually.
And I thought you
Pod.
changed it again, though.
No, I don't know what to call it because this is the worst for branding. But because we were called Sex Actually Podcast
For
and
a
then-
long time.
and then before that it was called You Up. Which I had
Classic.
I had Nikki
Which
Glazer
is
as a guest,
still-
and now she has a podcast called You Up. But it's
That's
fine, it's
interesting.
whatever, it's not a big deal. But my co-host was named Gabby, and she left, and she was like, "I need you to change the name," and I was like, "Gladly." So
I
we called
would
it
love
Sex
to.
Actually, but it's a little we do talk a lot about sex, but we also talk a lot about our family relations and this and that. And it's all intertwined,
Like a Freudian.
like you were
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
raised with so much more openness, being part of like a rock family.
Very open.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did you? We'll get out of here. But did you get a sex talk growing up? Like, how does that?
Oh, yeah, I have a
did
bit
I
about
was-
it, actually.
I was Catholic. My mom had a cartoon book she read us that was like Bush's, like Simpsons having
Yeah.
sex. That was
That's
fucked up.
hilarious. I had a book about the vagina when I was like 4, and I actually have a bit about my mom giving me the dick talk when I was 8. I'm like, I started young because I got
You
it.
got a dick talk.
I got the full dick. I got like
The dick.
dicks are small, dicks are big. Some wear turtleneck sweaters. Like I got the worldly dick.
That was a book.
Yeah.
I wish my mom told me that. When I,
I
saw
didn't
the
know that
first
till
one,
I
I was like,
20.
Yeah.
Chapter
you
5,
okay?
the anteater dick.
what's wrong with it? Like,
What's happening?
But isn't that crazy how like my buddy Joel, he had a thick, this is before the internet, right? So he had a thick book that was everything about
So you
sex.
said-
and
we're
I'd
gonna say
sleep
thick
over
penis.
he had a big dick.
He had a
too.
thick dick.
I seen his dick.
yeah.
He had a big dick, and I always thought I had a tiny dick because it wasn't like fucking like
Yeah.
mine was a grower, not a shower, and he was a shower.
Oh.
But guys growing up know what each other's dicks look like.
Yeah, that's like our big. Women have to give men some sympathy. Like we're so like fragile about our penis. Like that's our whole.
Well, they're
ego, our whole
disgusting.
life.
I can understand
Yeah.
that.
She
And
called
you
mine
make
cute
fun of
once.
it.
I was like, "What the fuck are you doing calling it cute?"
Call it a manly monster.
Tell it it's fright. I want her to tell me it
I'm
frightens
scared.
her.
Ooh, I'm scared.
I might get attacked. I shouldn't walk alone at night. This is a crazy side. Not like, oh, it's adorable. I don't need a Pixar dick. I don't need that. So you got the dick talk at 8. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, like, do you recommend would you do, like that growing up?
Yeah. I got the dick talk. I got a drug talk really early on because they've done every drug under the sun. So it got to a point when I was about to do drugs, as a teen, I was like, I don't even think I need to. I get it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were very open.
How about any of your other siblings? Like even your twin? Did you guys have the same sort of like
same thing.
openness?
Yeah, we were very open.
That's so healthy.
It was great.
I said that like angry. It's so
healthy.
Because Tasha grew up with a little bit of like she was the oldest daughter, and I think they were kind of tough on you with what clothes you could wear. She has a hard time wearing like a belly shirt now.
Yeah, like crop tops and tank tops and shorts. I like still
She's afraid
put them
to show
on
off
and like
sexuality.
get anxious because I like wasn't allowed to wear those things. So.
And I'm like a teen boy where I'm like, show it off. And she's like, I don't know if and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not like the type. From what I know about my father, my mom left him when she was pregnant with me, and he since passed away. Yeah, it's a whole thing. My audience probably knows, but she would tell me how she would have to cover up for him, and that always freaked me out. Like that's
scary.
that's a manipulation of that generation where like I don't want to share what I have with anyone, and then by smothering it you kind of push them away. It's ideally what happened. But like with Tasha, I'm like, look, like shake what your mother gave you, be sexy about it, and you know, just like, but it's I don't want to force you, like you will show off your body, but like be loose and free. And I know you want that in so many other ways, but like, you know, that's part of like we all have a different struggle we're trying to overcome. Mine is like just constantly wanting to please other people and imposter syndrome and a lot of, you know, my own negativity is kind of in a different place. But with Tasha, just say like, you know, I don't know, be that fucking hot shit, you know.
Be that fucking hot shit.
Thanks, babe.
Be that hot shit.
Oh, wow.
That'll be the moral of the episode. Be that hot shit.
But you were talking about how this all relates to the SAP. How it's...
Whew, boy, that coffee got me. Yeah. So anyway, so back to the Instagram.
Circle back.
We never did end that episode. So there was a little bit of rebranding, so we call it the SAP now, and it's our logo is kind of like the giving tree, but it's like a couple like as the.
It's
Trump.
beautiful.
It's you saw
I really
cool.
like it.
Yeah, my buddy Josh Sood designed it, and we have a new intro. This will be the first episode with a new intro. We're just calling it the SAP because the SAP is like the giving tree is like, you know, it's all about it's a bit like a light depending on others. Like I always say, in a relationship, you never want to be the weed that overtakes the other because you're just going to kill it. And you kind of want to grow up like together. It's like entwined.
Yeah,
and grow
like this little tree behind you.
Yeah,
there you go. Like this our money tree right over here. Yeah, that's exactly it. Actually, I didn't even realize that our money tree was kind of like our giving tree.
That's a money tree? Those are
the
real.
Japanese, they call it like money trees. I don't know. When I moved to Brooklyn, I bought one and it died immediately and I went broke.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Exactly what happened. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank
Everyone
you for
go follow
having
them.
me.
And that was our
And
episode.
Zach.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we could have gone another hour. I'm sure.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. Take care.
Tasha doesn't let me post without getting fried over.
You gotta put like the lipstick on the other side.
No, I really